back, relax, and maybe get yourself a snack. Me and you gonna have a little chat about books. Hey guys, so I'm here today to do my February TBR. I'm super excited about February because I've got a lot of books planned and I'm hoping I can get through them all. Wish me luck. This is where the 6-week challenge that I'm doing, where any books that come into the house have to be out again or read within 6 weeks, is really going to be tested because we're going to hit that first 6-week mark. And I'm going to have to see whether I've actually read what I was planning on reading within 6 weeks. So I'm going to start off by telling you what I'm currently reading so that you guys know what I will probably finish up early in the month. And then I'm going to tell you all of the things I am planning to read and to start in February. The first thing that I am reading currently is this book, Fortune's Pawn by Rachel Bach. I picked this up because I'm really interested in reading science fiction right now. I don't know what it is, but I'm just on a little bit of a sci-fi kick. And this is a light-hearted science fiction by an author I already know I love because Rachel Bach is also a pen name for Rachel Aaron, and she writes the Heartstriker series, which I have reviewed on my channel before and really enjoyed. So I definitely knew that I already liked this author, and so far I'm about halfway through and I'm definitely getting into it. The action is picking up quite a lot. It follows a young merc who is called Devi, who really wants to get into the elite guard of this world, or this universe I suppose, and so she goes on this kind of crazy ship as a bodyguard for hire. But this ship encounters more destruction, terror, and danger than many others, and no one really knows quite why. There certainly is a mystery there, and it's really interesting to see from her point of view and follow all this crazy technology like the suits that they have, which are really interactive and very cool. So far I'm liking it. I'm hoping it will get a good rating overall, but I will keep you updated as and when I finish it. So that's my first one. Another one that I am currently reading, and this is one that has to be finished by the 21st February, so I'm sure I'll finish it before then, but I'm currently reading it. That is Iron Gold. Got my little post-it note telling me when it has to be done by. I actually went to a Pierce Brown signing and he signed my book for me, so there's his signature, which is great, and I really enjoyed the signing. He was actually great at talking. He had a real sense of presence. He was very interesting and eloquent. It was an event where Claire North was interviewing him, and I also really like her, so it was just a lot of fun, and that was at Foyles in London last Monday, and I went with a friend and it was really enjoyable. We had a great time. Now I'm feeling even more motivated to finish the book. I am about halfway through. This follows Darrow, but also quite a few different characters from the same universe. Some are older characters who we have seen before, but most of them are new characters, and I'm really enjoying seeing the different multiple sets of POVs in this, which we didn't have in the first trilogy. We're getting to see a lot more of the universe and see different points of view other than just Darrow's, so I'm really enjoying it and looking forward to seeing how it all ends up. Usually it's the second half of his books where everything just goes completely crazy and dramatic, and I'm definitely down for that in this one. Two other books that I'm currently reading, one I'm listening to on audio, and that is The Gender Games by Juno Dawson. This one is actually narrated by Juno, and I'm really enjoying hearing her story. It's about how she transitioned from male to female, and I'm just loving sort of listening to her story and understanding a bit more about trans issues, because it is something I don't personally have a huge amount of experience with. I have known trans people, but I don't know in detail all the ins and outs of it, and I think her story is really eye-opening so far, and I'm very close to finishing this, so I will definitely finish this in February. The other one that I'm reading on my Kindle at the moment is Court of Fives, which is by Kate Elliott. This is my first Kate Elliott read and I'm really enjoying it. I'm about halfway through. It's a YA series and it follows a kind of almost Hunger Games format, but it feels a bit more mature than that. There's this whole setup of the fives being this kind of competition that people go into and participate in, and there's 4 different sections to the competition. One is to do with strength, one's to do with puzzles and things like that. So it does have that Hunger Games-esque feel, but it feels unique in its own way as well, and I'm really liking the themes that Kate Elliott is bringing up in her work, so it is motivating me to get to some of her other books soon too. but this is my first and I'm liking it, and I will let you know what I think when I finish it. Moving on to some of the books I plan to get to in the month of February, but I haven't quite started just yet, and I will begin to start these as and when I finish the others I've just mentioned. So I have 2 SBFBO titles that I need to get to still, so I'm obviously going to try and get to both of them in the month of February, and I don't know an awful lot about this one if I'm honest, but I have heard good things about this one and the other one that I have left over, so I'm hopeful that I will enjoy them both a little bit more than the previous ones in the finals. The other one of those is The Crimson Queen, which I have to read, and again I think this is more in the epic fantasy vein, so it might be more my cup of tea. Again, I've heard good things and I'm definitely keen to read both of these quite early in the month if possible, so that I can get reviews up to you guys as soon as I can. 2 other books that I'm hoping to get to in this month are The Iceberg by Marion Coutts. This is one of the Wellcome Book Prize books, and I believe it's about Marion Coutts' journey with her husband or partner who was diagnosed with a brain tumour in the area that controlled speech, and so he was quite quickly regressing and couldn't talk and communicate, and this is kind of the story of what happened between them. I'm reading this with Eleanor. Definitely excited to get to this very, very soon. The other one I'm going to be reading for the Wellcome Book Prize is one I have on audiobook, and that is Bodies of Light by Sarah Moss. Again, this is not really one I know an awful lot about, but it is one that I'm intrigued by because I've not read any Sarah Moss. I believe it follows a young woman who's in training to become a nurse or something like that. So I don't really know too much more, but I'm looking forward to reading it and finding out. Now moving on to physical books that I need to read. The first of those is this one. This one is Senlin Ascends by Josiah Bancroft, and this one needs to be read by the very end of February, so I've got all month to get to this. I'm planning to do a buddy read of this with my partner, so I'm looking forward to that because he doesn't read an awful lot of science fiction or fantasy, and this will be one of his first, so we're going to see how it goes. I've heard it's really quirky and it's kind of got a really weird and different sense to it than a lot of other titles. I think it'll be a good one to discuss. I know it's about a man who loses his fiancée and then has to find her by going up these different levels in a tower, and each level is different and it sounds pretty cool. Another one that I need to read by the end of the month is Blood of Assassins by RJ Barker. I'm really excited to read this, so I definitely think I'll be able to get through it before the end of the month. It is quite short and the first one in this series was a real quick read, so hopefully I can whiz through this one too. Again, it follows Girton Clubfoot, who is our main character, and he's an assassin in training in the first book. Hopefully in this book he will kind of come a bit more into his element. I'm really looking forward to it, and I definitely think it will be doable. Another one that I am planning on getting to, and this is going to be harder because this is chunky. This is The Scar by China Miéville, as you can see under there. And this I'm reading with James from James Chatham. I'll link him below. This one I have down for the end of the month it needs to be read by, but it is humongosaurus. It is about just under 800 pages, so it is chunky. The writing is decent sized, and I enjoyed the last China Miéville book I read. I thought it was really fun and weird and wacky. He does this kind of genre called New Weird, which is a bit bizarre and a bit out there. And this one follows a ship with human cargo, and then a pirate city and a hidden miracle, and the story of one passenger's journey on the ship, and it just sounds like it's going to be a lot of fun. Next up I have one that I'm actually going to start really, really soon because I'm basically supposed to already have started it and I haven't yet, and that is Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie's Americana. This one I have to read by the 16th of Feb, so it will be read in the next week or two. I love the cover of this. It's so beautiful. The cover designs that they are doing for her books are just stunning. Anyway, this follows a couple who are young and in love, and they have to escape from Nigeria, and one goes to America, one goes to London, and I think it's kind of their story when they end up reuniting years later. I've heard it's going to be quite an interesting one because both of them have very different experiences growing up in America and growing up in London. I'm really looking forward to it because I enjoyed her other book, and I do like to dabble a little bit in literary fiction every now and then, so that is what I'm planning with this one, and I'm doing a buddy read with Amanda and my friend Helen, so looking forward to that. Next up I have one that I'm really excited to get to, and that is A Time of Dread by John Gwynne. I finished up reading the Faithful and the Fallen series in January before I started this one because I wanted to have that series done, as this one is set in the same world but I think years later and may follow some of the descendants of those people in the first few books. I'm really looking forward to this story. It is a bit shorter than his previous ones, so I'm intrigued about how many points of view we're going to get and what we're going to focus on. I know it's about a war between the Benelim and the Kadashim, who are like the angels and demons of this world. I'm excited, so definitely up for this and really looking forward to it. Have to have read it by the 22nd of Feb, so hopefully I can get that done too. And the final one that I have to read in the month of February is this one by Holly Black. It is The Cruel Prince. This one was sent to me for review. I'm a little bit unsure about whether it's going to be my sort of thing because it is a YA fantasy and sometimes they just don't work for me. And this is based on a fae society, which again, sometimes is good and sometimes is bad and doesn't always work for me. So we'll have to see. But I am excited because a couple of my friends have read it and said that they really enjoyed it. So hopefully I will also enjoy it and we will see if it's a quick, easy read. I don't know. That is everything I'm planning to get to. Of course, I may end up chopping and changing things. Hopefully I will review all of the books that I need to read in this month so that you guys can see them and so that I keep on track with my reading everything within 6 weeks goal. But we'll see how that goes. This is going to be the real test. It's going to start getting serious. So yeah, wish me luck. Thank you all for watching. Tell me what you're going to read in February below. I'll see you very soon in my next video. Bye guys.
Thank you for watching my video today. Go pick up a book, then come back and chat with me again.